What's up, everybody? You're back with The Chosen Con, and today I have with us Harman Kaur. Right? Let me say hello to the audience.
Hi, guys.
I know you guys have probably seen Harman all over Instagram because that's where I first saw you.
Yeah.
Right? I remember I'd be going through my Instagram feed and I'd see this poetry and I'm like, Harman Kaur, cool. And then after that, I saw her on my friend Jessie Rye's Snap and I was like, what the hell?
It's her.
I was like, she's real? I was like, oh my God, this is a person that exists.
Jesse and his tendencies to snap me. Yeah.
I saw it all the time, and then we met at our Bubber's birthday.
Yeah.
So today, for those of you who don't know, Harman is, what would you describe yourself as?
I hate putting myself into one label. I am a writer. Sometimes I write poetry. I'm a spoken word artist. I facilitate workshops and events, just all over the place.
Yeah, you do a lot of things.
A lot of things.
But what you said in the podcast was that you are a human being first and foremost.
First and foremost, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a beautiful sentiment. So today we talked about a lot of different things. We talked about basically your rise to, I guess, Instagram poetry, but how it began with you being in Abbotsford and bumping. What was it? What did you used to listen to in Abbotsford?
Akon.
So you were listening to Akon. Why don't you paint a picture for the people of how you were listening to Akon in Abbotsford?
So basically, when I was like in grade 5 is when we started gaining access to internet. And this is when I started getting access to music. And I was telling Abu that like the first album that I ever and the first song that I ever listened to was "Smack That" by Akon. And I would literally just like replay the album over and over again. It was cool.
And your mom was like, "What is this smack that?" She didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't even know what it was too.
I smacked you.
And then just constantly like having my earphones in and like my mom getting mad at me. But yeah, so that was
we talked about how it began. So you started writing lyrics, and then you went to high school, and there's even a story about Harman. She used to be a baller, so check that out because that was very interesting. And then you end up quitting, and then in high school you had a tough time with even just with the Sikhi, right? Well, how was that?
Yeah, it was definitely like I even mentioned in the podcast a few years ago. It would have been really hard for me to admit that I fell off the path of Sikhi. But high school was just this turmoil, this inner turmoil inside of me, kind of deciding who I wanted to be, not knowing what I wanted, basically. So if I was to describe my high school years, that's what I would describe them as just this inner conflict of what I wanted and what I wanted to be. Confusion.
And then you were talking about the beauty.
The beauty. So just having to, like, one of the biggest problems with me was not conforming to standards of beauty, where it's like the hair on my body and my face and the thought on my head was seen as masculine, and as I had mentioned, hormones racing, and not being pretty enough or conforming to the European Western ideals of beauty, and just feeling confused and not knowing what to prioritize, basically. Yeah.
And so your high school kind of blew by that way, right? Then you were telling me that you had a teacher named Mr. Johansson.
Yeah.
That he kind of believed in you, started getting you to read a bunch of different types of books.
1984 by George Orwell and Animal Farm by George Orwell. Just the type of teacher to just like push me, to humble me, and to just show me what my true potential really was. Yeah.
And then after that, graduated, she gets a scholarship, goes to, she said no to UBC, goes to SFU. And one thing that really stuck with me was that while you were at SFU, you started, what was that class you took?
It was World Literature. I still remember it was World Literature 103. It was Love Across Cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a beautiful thing. Yeah. And just discovering Rumi, discovering Sufi poetry and Hafiz and all these beautiful, beautiful writers. And then just slowly discovering Rumi, even though it was like a watered down, diluted translation of Rumi, and also accepting that what I had in front of me wasn't the original piece, and learning to be okay with it, and just all of that, and then coming across Rupi Kaur and just being so inspired by her, and then just slowly, finding the courage to even start writing, even before putting it up on social media. And then, it's just that whole journey of convincing myself to take that first step.
Yeah, and then you take that first step, you take that leap of faith, and then you started writing, and then it seems like as you progressed, you got really big, and a lot of people started watching you and started reading your stuff. And it's great, but there's also a lot of pushback.
Pushback, yeah, for sure. Right? For some people, it's different to see a woman that looks like me. I got the stud on. I've got the brown skin. I'm a female. To be, going out there, putting myself out there, and it also makes me a target. I had mentioned this before, but I hate being seen as this Instagram thing. It's just going back to objectification all over again, where it's like, I follow this person, I can like their post, but I can also comment stupid shit on it, right?
Yeah.
And just dealing with it, and not even myself, but seeing other women or even other people who are creatives on this platform having to deal with this kind of backlash and negativity.
This abuse.
Yeah, this abuse. And I'm not going to lie and say that it isn't mentally straining, because it is. Because as you notice, I did end up taking a break from it for like 10 days.
Yeah.
Until I realized that I had a purpose, and that purpose wasn't to go back and forth with people who were trying to put me down, but to empower people who are just like me, who are going through the same things as me. And I realized that was what my purpose was. So
using your poetry, and then that led you to creating this series. This series. What's the series called?
The series was called A Punjabi Sikh Girl's Guide to Conquering and Surviving the World. Kind of wanted to play on both of those words, where like life won't always be easy, but life won't always be hard. And just my best friend Gurpreet, G-Sangat2 on Instagram, me and her wanted to show the complexities of being a Gaur, how we're not these single layer identities and these one-dimensional figures, and how we have so many complexities in our lives. So, and it's funny though, I didn't receive good response from just scores. It was from Singhs as well. It was from Muslim women as well who were saying, me too. Yeah. So that was really interesting for me.
It was universal.
It was universal, yeah.
That's what people are starting to wake up and realize. Right? That you also said one thing that I wanted to even end off with was that, you know what, just because that you are a core does not mean that you are like this perfect, you're a human being. Right? And most people put you on, try and make you, like if you make one mistake, they automatically start attacking you. Right? And so I guess what would you want to say to the people at home or the young people that are afraid to post their stuff online and are going through this stuff? What would be the best advice you could give them?
The advice that I had to take myself, and I usually give to people, is write for yourself. Don't write for anybody's approval or anybody's validation. Write from your own experiences. Don't try to make your work universal. Your experiences aren't necessarily universal. There are so many complexities to you and your identity. Not everyone will relate to them, and not everyone has to relate to them. So when you're writing, make sure you write from the heart. Make sure you write what is true and authentic to you, and don't write for the likes or the followers, because they don't show what the true quality of your work is.
Perfect. That's the best way to end off. So if you want to listen to a full podcast where we go way more in depth, talk about a lot of pretty crazy things, stuff. I'd say. Go in depth, check it out. It'll be on the bottom. It's on SoundCloud or Apple. If you want to connect with Harman, what's the best way to connect with you?
On Twitter and Instagram with the handle _
We'll have it on top here for you.
_ Harman Kaur. Instagram for all my writing, Twitter for all my rants and muses.
Check out the rants. I'm telling you. So thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And then reach out to her. I'm serious, because when you get to meet someone like how Rupi Kaur kind of opened up a little bit of the door for you, I have no doubt there's so many other women or even so many other people. I'm inspired to write poetry now. I'm serious, but they're out there, and just by being able to talk to you, it'll make them realize that, you know what, you're just another person.
Another human being.
Yeah, perfect. All right, everybody. Peace.